So the identity has now been officially confirmed by the FBI in USA. This is with regard to the attack that took place on Donald Trump while he was addressing a crowd at the election rally. Donald Trump's suspect attacker has been identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was involved in the assassination bid. And I say was because he was immediately neutralized by the Secret Service agent. Thomas Crooks, according to our information received, was a 20-year-old man from Pennsylvania. But the fact also remains that he has now been killed, and therefore it would be very difficult to understand what led him to target the former US president, who was hopeful of a rerun. So the motive of the assassination attempt is being investigated, but this has become a huge political update coming in, specifically with regard to how Donald Trump, remember, is one of the biggest names in the political fraternity. India Today's Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan is joining me in this evening telecast. Geeta, you know, it's very interesting that while, of course, there's a lot of condemnation coming in on this, the attacker is a young man. What happens here on? What are the details you have which are confirmed?
Well, the FBI has come out with a statement which says that they have identified the assailant. They have identified him as a 20-year-old man, Thomas Matthew Crooks, who was involved in this assassination attempt, and this remains an active and ongoing investigation, and therefore any information that may assist in getting to the bottom of this entire case is something that the FBI has invited people to come out with. So that's the statement that has come out, and they've also they're encouraging people to submit photos or videos online, and they've shared a link to do so. That's the details, but they have a man that they've identified, and they have named the man. It's Thomas Crooks, and he's all of 20. More details awaited on the case itself, but this is going to be one of the biggest developments in the US elections. This comes ahead of the Democratic National Convention in August. That's the 19th of August. So critical to see whether if President Biden stays on course, or whether if, given that from this there is going to be massive, in all probability, massive upsurge in the polls when it comes to Donald Trump, is something we'll have to wait and see. That certainly is going to be a deciding factor. This has changed the entire terms of engagement now in the US elections. While we were discussing earlier, Pooja, about gun laws in the United States of America, and that becoming a part of the discourse of the conversations in the elections, there is going to be a huge comparison in what really happened, the reaction of Donald Trump, and should it have been the incumbent, what would the reaction have been? It was indeed a narrow escape.
Absolutely, because the presence of mind, even for Donald Trump, Geeta, the fact that he was clearly hit, and yet, while of course the Secret Service intended to take him away right away, he took a moment, did a fist bump and said fight, and continued to do that knowing that the cameras were rolling. So it's going to definitely become a huge election issue as well. Geeta, I want to thank you here right now.